Good morning, it's Cami. How are you doing? Welcome to Smart Social Secrets Tips. Today, I'm going to be talking about procrastination and also a little bit of what I call turtle shelling or, kind of hiding out from visibility. So, I am really excited to share all of these things with you today, and I'm going to just jump right into it. But I have a five-part way that I deal with this. And let me just say, first of all, that I also struggle with that kind of procrastination, that kind of stuff. It's very hard, I think, sometimes whenever you are helping other people, like when you are your job is to help other people to be visible, and then you yourself do not want to do that. So you may hide out from it a little bit. I remember, I did get I had a really fortunately for a while a who loved a to do this to do and I'm talking about a business partner who loved to do the visibility parts, and I just stepped back and let them do that, because there's a part of me that just doesn't want to come and be here. It's kind of weird, but I love it when I'm on it and when I'm like helping people and I know that I'm helping people, but like when I'm getting ready for it, thinking about it, all of those kinds of things, I often will put it off. And so what I had to do for myself is I had to come up with a way to make sure that I was very visible on a regular basis in a way that was sustainable to my business. So I definitely knew I didn't have time to be online all the time and all of that, because we have clients, we have like work to get done, we have deadlines, all of that. But guess what? Everybody has those things. Everybody has deadlines. Everybody has clients. Everybody has those things that they need when you have a small business. And if you have a bigger business, it's even harder sometimes because you have to like kind of have the guidelines of your company, and there's just so much that keep you from being visible. So I'm going to share with you my five-part plan for that. And I've kind of created a slide, as I usually do, so that you can see what my five parts are. And I'm just going to tell you out front what they are. Number one is to really adjust your mindset. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And number two is to employ a structure for everything. So I'll jump into why that's really important. And I have underneath here, I actually put the URL in the description, and also it's here at the bottom of the screen. This planner that I've put together, it's a content generator, helps you to put that structure into place. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. Make a plan. So you taking this structure and then making this plan with the content planner is really important. And then getting accountability. So one of the most important things, I think, is to be accountable to somebody else besides yourself, whether it's another teammate, whether it's a friend, whether it is a group. We have like I have a mastermind group called Smart Social Mastery. We are very accountable to each other. And then take imperfect action. And that fifth one is almost the most important one, because guess what? You will never be perfect. And guess what? The circumstances will never be perfect. This morning, I had a situation like that too. So I will talk about that here in just a minute. And I'm here yet. So hello. So I want to talk through each one of these very carefully. So the first one is adjust your mindset. And I think maybe this might be the most important one. So in the end of the day, there's a lot of excuses for not spending time on your visibility content and getting it together, especially when it comes to business and visibility. And the first one I hear all the time is I don't have time. And time is a construct, actually. So yeah, we all have 24 hours a day. That's true. But we happen to do the things that are most important for us, right? So we will prioritize what we do. And the reason why you don't prioritize something like this is because you don't see the value in it enough for yourself. So you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So the number one thing when you are talking about mindset around visibility is you have to understand your why really, really strongly. Like, why are you doing this? For me, my why is to build a sustainable business. Two things. One, to have a great atmosphere for my employees, make sure that they stay employed, that I feel very responsible to that. That's number one. Number two is really all around like kind of building up other business owners. So part of what I really want to do and what really lights me up is to help other business owners get great at this stuff. And so that has been lighting me up lately. And so that gets me out here. It gets me out here because I know that I have certain things in my head and experiences that I can share that are going to help you. And that's why I'm here, because I want to help people, genuinely want to help people to get better at what they do. And so that's why I do everything I do. That's why I do the social media breakfast of Houston and have done that for almost 14 years now. It's because I have a really like a burning desire to help other people to succeed at what they do. And yeah, I want to make a living in the meanwhile, but I'm not motivated by money, all those bro cars and things like that. That's never motivated me. Like, pin up the house that you want to buy on the wall. Again, never has motivated me. But what does motivate me is the idea of thousands of people just like slaying it at whatever they're doing so they can employ other people, so that they can, take care of their families, so that they can grow in this business. And so, and my business is marketing and PR. I mean, that's just the world I'm in. So I just want to see people that are, consultants, coaches, people that help other people get visible. I want to help them to be visible too. And so that's really my why. What is yours though? I would love to know in the comments if you, even if you're watching this in replay, I live for understanding why you do what you do. So let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. So number one is really around mindset. And then, so your why has to be really strong. And then secondly, you're going to need to think about the things that are stopping you. And if you don't really know what those are, actually, I got this really great tip from Alan Hennessy, who is a really good friend of mine and also in our mastery group. He actually told this to our whole group this week, and it was so great. And he talks about how he sits down with a pad of paper, and it has to be paper and pen because it's about your mind. And he does a brain dump of everything that's kind of like blocking him. You can do it with a prompt if you want, or just brain dump anything that's in your head. I do like the idea of a prompt though, where you could say, why am I not going doing visibility content, and just whatever comes out of your head, even if it's weird, I'm just writing it out, because a lot of our brain space is it's like a closet that's cluttered. It's like clearing it out so there's space for you to do the things that you need to do. So mindset is so, so important. And maybe we'll go deeper on that one, like in another live stream. And maybe I should go deeper on each one of these in another live stream as well. But that one is like really important. And I think doing like some exercises around that would be great. Maybe I could get Alan to come join me and he could help me because he does NLT and he's very in tune with that. He's got a degree in it. So I think maybe I should get him to come help me with that at some point. But anyway, that being said, once your mindset is straight, and even if it's not straight, that's the other part. You're going to want to just work through these different pieces of this plan with or without like being done with the one before. So mindset is always a thing. I'm constantly working on this. As everyone that does this. So number two is employing a structure. So really, in the end of the day, when it comes to your visibility tasks for your business, part of the reason we don't do them is because we don't have a structure in place. We don't take the time to create the opportunities for success. And that really is around a structure. And when I talk about a structure, I'm talking about very simple things. So for example, this live stream, I'm just going to use this live stream as an example. Number one, I have a template for my slides. So the slide you see in front of you is part of a much bigger template. And if I advance to the next page, you will see that I have other ones here. So I put it all in one document, and I'm using Google Slides in this case. And I am just adding a new slide and adding the 5 points I want to talk about today. So next week I'll have another slide and it'll have the next things that I want to talk about. And that's how I create that. But it's sitting there, it's designed already. All I have to do is plug in my 5 points and it's done. That's number one. Number two, I also have a template in Canva for my thumbnail. So if you go to YouTube and watch this, you will see that I have a thumbnail for this. And also in all of the, I put this out about an hour ago, as a placeholder. There's a thumbnail that goes with this episode. So I always have to create this thumbnail, and it seems a little overwhelming, except for it's not, because I have one Canva document and inside of it, it's already designed. All I have to do is change the headline, maybe change a couple of pictures, and then download it. So that's part of my system. Number three, I have everything in and we use ClickUp, but you can put it, and I did have for many years, just had a Google Sheets that had like all of the things that are coming up that we're going to talk about. And I have a card in there, and I put the graphic in there, and I put I'm going to put this 5-part visit. It actually is in there. This 5-part visibility plan, the promo that I had for this at the beginning, all of it is in that one card. And guess what? I just click on that and start a new card and do a new one for each episode. And so that is like my system for this. And the whole thing, by the way, takes me approximately a half an hour to set up. Oh, and then I set up in StreamYard. I'm sorry. The fourth part of that is StreamYard. So I will use StreamYard, which is a streaming program, to bring this to you across multiple channels. So I'm streaming this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And those are the 4 places. And in Facebook, a couple of places, and in some private groups as well as a public page. So that is how I have set this up as a system. And if you have that structure in place, all you do is you open it up and you execute, and you know how long it takes you. Maybe it takes you between half an hour to an hour to set something up like this. For me, at this point, it takes me about a half an hour to do it. And by the way, as I was doing it, I was talking to a friend of mine who was visiting from out of town. So I have people from out of town this week. I've had all kinds of things going on. And yeah, I thought I could have skipped it. And sometimes I do. So the other thing I'm going to say is, even if you only get this 70% of the time right, you are going to be so much further ahead than somebody that doesn't have any of this going right, right? So employing that structure is really important. Then make a plan. So once you have that structure in place, then you can get ahead of yourself, right? You can go and decide what you're going to do for the next couple of weeks. And that's where that 6-month content planner that I have here at the bottom of the screen comes in, the Smart Social Secrets 6-month content planner. That is where that comes in for you, because if you have like a bank of ideas, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, that's going to help you very, very much. And we just did that last week. Actually, if you go back and listen to my last live, I go through basically the 6-month content planner process. But this is the planner. So if you want to do it yourself, you can download it. And if you want to get a little more instruction, go to last week's video and it will tell you exactly how to use that. So that is really important, is to have that plan in place. But even if you don't, even if you're just flying by the seat of your pants week to week, the number 2, employing your structure, will help you a lot, because you don't have to set everything up. So I don't know how many times you've had something on your to-do list. It's like, do this project, do this campaign for, right now I'm doing a book campaign. I'm launching a new book with 35 other authors, and there's a lot around it. And I've taken the lead role in the marketing side of it. So I'm like coordinating everyone, right? And so that could be very overwhelming if I didn't have a plan in place, right? So we've done all of these things. We have a structure, we have a plan, you get your accountability, and then you get your accountability. So that 4th one is super, super important. If you're not telling people and asking people to hold you accountable, it's really important. My team members, I luckily have a staff at this point. I didn't at the beginning. And my team members will be like, hey, I haven't seen that. Tracy told me yesterday, where's that ClickUp card? I didn't see that ClickUp card. And that's really how we communicate with each other. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that was totally me, my bad. I'll put the ClickUp card in. And so, yeah, I mean, you just have to have somebody that holds you accountable. And you can do it with a friend and hold each other accountable. So one of the things I was telling you we did at the beginning of the week was we worked together at the mastery moment for the mastermind. And I had everybody break down into one-on-one groups and say what they were going to work on this week for their visibility. And then at the end of that time, they're going to hold each other accountable. So they're going to check in with each other tomorrow, which is Friday, and find out how their dyad partner is doing. Did they get that thing done? So I'm going to send out an email probably later today, reminding them to do that, number 1. And number 2, telling them about some other things. So in the end of the day, all of these things kind of fit together to hold them accountable. It's like you would do this for a client or a project, a work project. You would have deadlines and you would have milestones, and you would be accountable to somebody for those. So this is the same thing here, except for you're going to have to build that accountability in, because you are your own client, and when you are your own client, you often don't hold yourself accountable like you would. Now you'll beat yourself up about it. That you'll do, but you may not hold yourself accountable to the actual task, like in a very dispassionate way. So that's really the thing. Find somebody that you can take accountability with, maybe a partner, And maybe you just send an email once a week to each other saying, hey, this is what I'm up to this week. This is what I'm going to do. And I promise I'm going to do it. And then at the end of the week, check in with each other to see if it got done. So yeah, I think accountability is really important. It doesn't always work. You have to actually work it with each other and not like you need to hold each other actually accountable. So that's it. And then the fifth thing, which I think is almost more important than anything else I've said, is to take imperfect action. And here's the thing, guys, no matter what, you are not going to be perfect. Am I doing this flawlessly today? Probably not. I'm just rambling on about 5 points, right? But on the other hand, is this, valuable information for you? I think you're going to say yes, because if you put even one of these things into practice, you are going to be so much better off than if you just didn't do anything. So, in the end of the day, I do believe in taking imperfect action. I also believe in letting you guys know that I am not perfect, right? So even today, as I was doing this, I told you I have people in town and whatever, and I hadn't done all of the things. Like I should have probably scheduled this yesterday, and probably more of you would have been here like in the real time play. But a lot of you will see this in replay, because I'm going to send it out to you in an email if you're on my email list. In the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that imperfect action, it just is the way to go, because you will get better as you go. You will get better in the iterations, right? So the only way to get better is to do more. I can't remember exactly where I heard this, and I would have to look up the actual stat. But some of the biggest, painting masters, it's not that they were like just amazing at every painting they ever did. It's just they did so many. The volume was so high, and because of that, they became masters, or they had some masterpieces that were created because out of that muscle, that working of that muscle of doing something over and over and over again, you get better at it. You just do. And you can look back at the first time you did something like a live stream, for example, and just be and shudder because it can be very uh, it can be very humbling, right? But I like to say, and I often do say, is that I do all of this for you guys, because so you can learn from my mistakes. And I think that's actually a really, really good way to go. You can learn from my mistakes. And guess what? We can learn from your mistakes as well. And so just being honest about your mistakes and being honest that you're not 100% put together, I think is really important, because everybody comes out in their perfectly curated way and they never admit that really they struggle just like everyone else. And I know that I'm going to tell you today, I struggle just like everyone else. And this morning, my friend who was here from out of town, I said, I'm going to tell them I'm struggling. She goes, tell them, because that's inspiring. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, have to do this. I have to do this. I opened it up. As I talked to her, I actually did the slide this morning. I already had my idea of my visibility. I knew what I was going to talk about. I figured that out earlier this week, but I'm a little behind because over the holidays, things kind of fell off. It's just how it works, right? Over the holidays, people were here. We've been traveling. My son is doing a bunch of auditions for musical theater all over the country, and so I'm traveling with him. Anyway, it's been crazy. So not always are you there, but if you have that structure in place, it's very easy to be on task, even if you're a little behind. So I will catch up, and I will have a bunch of them planned out for a couple of months, and that's all coming. And again, like I said, the last live stream, I taught you exactly how to do that. And it's exactly what I'm going to be doing over this weekend. So that is all I really wanted to say today. These 5 things, and I'll pull them up again. These 5 things that I think will really help you. Number 1, adjust your mindset. Get that mindset under control, because the stories that you're telling yourself about why you're not staying visible are not necessarily at the heart of what's true. Okay. I think a lot of it is because you just don't have the preparation. You don't have the time, is really about setting yourself up for success. And how you do that is the rest of this. Employ a structure, which I talked about at the beginning. It really is all about having it all set up so that it's very easy for you to pull the trigger on whatever it is you do, whether it's a blog post or whether it's a live stream or whether it's a podcast or whatever your visibility content is. You need to be there and have a structure in place to get it out. Number three, make a plan, meaning have some content ideas already figured out so that you can pull them very quickly. Again, I have the crawl on the bottom, which is kind of annoying, I know, but if you go there, you can get my free content generator, which is basically a Google sheet and a lot of instruction. I send you like 5 emails that instructs you how to do it. I kind of space them out every 3 days so it's not overwhelming on the emails. And then get accountability. And that's really finding somebody to say, hey, how's it going? Even if you meet like once a week and then or once a month and then send emails back and forth, an accountability partner. I've used them for years. Madeline Sklar has been one of my accountability partners. Fran Stevenson, um, Roy Hodgson. I have accountability partners as well. And then take imperfect action. Take imperfect action. And if you do all of those things, you are going to be visible and you are going to grow your business. When you come out and you talk about these things all the time, people come to you. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about AI and how AI is changing things and how we need to like embrace it. And guess what? A couple of weeks later, I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, could you come talk about that AI thing to my group? So I've already gotten a speaking opportunity out of that one live stream. So I'm just saying, you being here today, listening to this should change you. I don't want you to walk away from here without taking action. So I really, really, really ask you, please just download the content planner and then you will get emails from me. And then you can actually send me emails and ask me questions or if you have any thoughts about this, let me know. I would love to do that. If you have any questions, also add them in the comments here. I would love to talk to you about this, but I'm very passionate about the fact that you do have the time to do this. You have the time to do it. If I have the time to do it, believe me, you have the time to do it. I'm running a business. I have clients that are super demanding, have a lot of things going on. I have kids that are trying to get to college and we're traveling all over the country getting them in. I've got 2 other children. We all have things. We all have things, but this is important. If you have a business, this visibility stuff is critical to your business being successful over a long period of time and you not having the stress of worrying about where the next client is coming from. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to let you know I had this on my heart and my mind, this whole idea about these excuses that we put up against visibility. We want to hide. And maybe you're a little bit also worried you don't have much to say. Well, I'm going to tell you this, what you have to give is so important. We need whatever it is that you have because your experiences are so different from anyone else's. And that is going to reach somebody. That is going to reach people that you would be shocked that it's going to reach. And so I do believe that that's another myth. There's a bunch of myths around this, like, I don't have time. I don't have anything to say. I don't like to be on camera. Okay, then write a blog post. Write a blog post. I mean, you don't have to be on camera, right? So, in the end of the day, that's it. And by the way, this morning, I didn't even hardly put on makeup. I just threw on some lipstick and some powder. I was out of time this morning, I'm telling you. So there's just so many different ways that you can think about this. And I just hope that you take some action today and let me know in the comments what action you're going to take. Which one of these things are you going to do first? Are you going to work on your mindset as far as like doing some prompts and some brain dumps and stuff to get these excuses out, to figure out what your excuses are so you can get over them? Are you going to put together a structure so it makes it real easy for you? Are you going to make a plan with my content planner? That's the easiest thing you could do today because it's free and it's right there. Get accountability. Are you going to find an accountability partner? Or are you going to just take are you going to just take some imperfect action today? I want to know what you're going to do today. Let me know in the comments. I know not a lot of people are commenting right now, or I can't see it anyway. And so I hope that you have a great day, and I hope you take action this week to get more visible. And let me know what you do. I want to know. Tag me. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.